On today's episode, we're going to do an oil change on this 2014 Ford Explorer. Alright, in order to change the oil on this Explorer, the first thing you need to do is to remove the belly pan, which has 3 quarter-turn screws. You then need to pull the drain plug, remove the filter, put a new filter on, reinstall the drain plug, and then fill the engine back up with oil. Alright, so we're going to use Mobil 1 full synthetic 5W20 motor oil and a Mobil 1 extended performance filter, which is part number M1212A. Alright, so the drain plug on this 2014 Explorer is at the back of the oil pan, which was above the belly pan that we just removed. It is a 15 millimeter bolt. Now, as you can see here in this oil, on new good oil, it's supposed to be like honey colored or amber. This is dark. Usually when it gets this color, you know it's ready to change. We typically go 5,000 miles on full synthetic. I've heard you could go 8,000, 10,000 miles. It depends on how much you want to spend and how much you want to actually do maintenance. Alright, so I have 2 tips, one of which is before you actually go into the step of changing the oil, it is beneficial if you start the car up and let it idle a little while. Don't let it get fully up to temperature because the oil will be way too hot. But if you let the oil warm up, it will decrease the viscosity and let it run better, and you'll be more likely to get all of it out. The other tip is, well, should I brake? I should probably brake, that way you... The other tip is, I would say when it gets to this point where it's either draining with a really small stream or it's dripping, I tend to put the plug back in so that it stops the flow, and I put it in loose. I don't actually tighten it down, and then I go over and remove the filter, and then by the time I'm done moving the filter, more oil will have built up behind the plug, and I can remove it, drain the rest of it out, and I can go refill the engine. Alright, so now we're going to change the oil filter. Probably should get the tool. I might be able to get it to go, but
muscle it.
That's not happening. Not happening. Okay. Alright, so this is an older style auto parts oil filter tool. So basically you put it on, and as you go to loosen it, it'll crimp down onto any size oil filter, and it'll loosen up just like that. And then when it gets loose enough, you can come in and do it yourself. Now make sure your hand is underneath the filter, because it's going to drip like that. There we go. Alright, so 2 things when changing out your oil filter. Before you put in the new one, make sure you grab a little bit of a finger of old oil and rub it around the rubber gasket here on the inside of the oil filter. Otherwise, the filter might stick to the ring on the engine, and it makes it more of a challenge getting it off. But after that, just go ahead and install it. And I install mine finger tight, or hand tight, just like that. Now it's time to reattach the pan, now that we've got the oil drained out of the oil pan and the filter changed. Make sure everything's locked in. It's good to go. All right, so now we're going to fill the engine back up with oil. Now I have to get it.
Go get the oil.
Let's see, let's put the oil in it. All right, this is what color motor oil is supposed to be. See how it's like nice honey and amber colored? This is what new motor oil looks like. This is how you know. If it gets any darker, it's usually time to change. All right, and after that, the oil's changed.
Service with a smile.
Okay, now, do you want to change the axle?
That's a good question.